My name is Liam, and I'll be talking to you about the energy of July. I am an entity that wishes to come through to communicate the energy challenges and shifts that are occurring on Earth. I wish to not identify exactly who I am, so that you may listen to the words and find connection to the messages of which I am sharing, instead of identifying where I come from and questioning if I have any agenda. My motivation of being present with you today is to keep you well informed and to educate you in who you are and what your capabilities are with energy. I have been instructed to keep my messages simple so that you may hear what I am saying and understand it. Though we will be talking about complex energy shifts and repatterning, I will do so in the most simplistic way I know how. I first want to talk about June, the month in which you came from, that had great chaos, extreme emotional challenges, pushing you to have feelings of joy, of sadness and grief, contentment, in the deepest ways you have ever done so in your lifetime. Even the earth is possessing more emotion than ever before. This was to wake you up. This was to shock you, to help you identify that you are in a space in which you need to create change. This is the slap on the back or the dip in cold water to where you need to catch your breath and look around you. July is no different and has its extremes in a slightly different way. Whereas June was more focused on emotions, your emotional bandwidth, July will be based on that, but helping you vibrate in a higher dimensional plane. To explain, July's energy is going to challenge you more so than June. So if you have found that you are beyond yourself, overly tired, if you had said to yourself that you are ready to give up, then you will need to dig deeper than before to understand what July is presenting. There's been many discussion with you about the differences on Earth and how they are going to grow and be more extreme. They will be those that live with great emotional intelligence, with love and compassion and understanding for all. Then there will be those who will live in the shadow, in difficulty, in victimhood. These differences are going to grow. I don't want to harm her body. She's also not prepared at this time to hold my vibration. It's causing a great pain in her throat. Even those who have studied for decades in how to stay grounded and aware of these differences in emotion are being uprooted are being challenged. And they too, even through their years of practice, will have to find new ways to stay grounded. Staying grounded doesn't mean to keep your feet on the earth and to stay still. When we talk about staying grounded, it means that you have your mental health, your emotional health, and your physical health very much within grasp, within a control, within sight. The moment you begin to let go of these, you become untethered, ungrounded, disconnected. It's as if your energy begins to roam. I want to bring up the vision. Though I do wish this to work, I think it would be in our best interest to let someone else come through.
Okay.
I'll continue to work with who comes through to explain what comparison and what visuals I would like to show.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. How are you, Maitland?
I'm good. This is a really good example, and Jamie's gonna edit this, and I'm gonna ask that Jamie leave all of this because it makes a good point. People think, those that have like a long-term practice, that they're okay and they can manage and navigate this, and they're just kind of riding on top of the wave, and they're really not gonna get into anything. Or have a struggle with the shifts and the changes that are happening, but that's not true. Everybody that's out there, you're going to experience these changes that are coming forward. And though people like Jamie or Colleen or all those luminaires out there that really practice their craft, they might not express the great difficulty as often, but their body is vibrating with it. Because when Liam was trying to heal, he was trying to untie all the stressors that Jamie had in her jaw and in her throat and in her legs and knees. And it's all about shifting and making these changes and that tend to go against what you thought your goals were or that you believed your purpose was. And which... we're going to talk about that now. And when I'm talking, just know that I'm also talking on behalf of Liam, who's kind of stiff, isn't he? Anyways. Okay, so he was going to talk about a visual. When we look at how the human body is made, when you have your mental body, your emotional body, and your physical body, which he was highlighting about how to stay grounded. Well, just like with the physical body, if you stay stagnant too long, you kind of lose your muscle tone, or you put on weight, or if you eat things that don't do well with you, like let's say if you have an allergy or you have a gluten allergy and you eat it and your body really responds badly, or if you eat too much of the wrong thing, then you could put on weight, but it interferes with how the physical body wants to work. The mental body is the same way. That's the visual he wanted to show. That if you hang on to the words that don't work for you anymore, but you use them anyways, then you're not expressing the type of energy that you want to, and you're attracting a different kind of energy, and then you're holding that energy in your mental body. And you can get kind of like obese in your mental body, like a hoarder. You collect energy and vibrations that don't suit you very well, but you hang on to them, whatever excuse you want to tell yourself, for fear of change, or you don't want to be different, or you didn't know what else to say, or you just didn't want to be honest or vulnerable or open. But you don't make those changes, and you stick to it. Same with an emotional thing. And you can call these patterns, like old patterns that you're holding on to that you do that don't really give you the outcome you're looking for, and create more distress, create more conflict, create more tension. It's because you're holding those vibrations that don't work for that situation. So it's kind of cool when we take the visual of the physical body and we say, okay, I'm going to straighten up my diet because I am allergic to sugar and I am allergic to gluten and I am allergic to whatever it is. I'm going to stop eating that. And all of a sudden, your body gets into shape and you start to feel better and you like your body more, and then you dress it different and you have a different relationship with it. It's the same with the mental body and the emotional body. If you change its perspective and you change its words, or you change the way that you're expressing emotion, you can shape the way that it holds energy and you can make it run more fine-tuned. And you know what's scary about that?
What's that?
I was waiting for Colleen to answer.
I could tell.
What's scary about that is that you're a really beautiful, powerful person. And a lot of people on Earth don't know how to be powerful, don't know how to accept this powerful position, and would rather just say, that's okay, I don't really want that. I'm satisfied with what I'm doing here. And they don't want to reach that place. So they turn away from it, they ignore it, they don't do the work. And July is saying, excuse me, you have to do the work. You can't get around it. Not even the people like Jamie who's been practicing for decades. You still have to do all the work. Nobody gets a free pass. Everybody's going to be doing it to the level that they are, and it's all going to be taking them. Remember, June was like, get away from your head, and we're going to make you feel everything. And all of a sudden, everybody got passionate, and everybody got like crazy, and all this stuff started happening, which was great. Well, July is more than June. And we mean more because now we're saying you get to feel everything, but here's the new layer. It comes from a very authentic point. June, you had the pendulum swing, the huge emotional spectrum. We got you to feel everything. Now, we're going to get you to stay in the emotional bandwidth, but you're going to be, let's see if I can give you a good picture. You're going to be dieting your emotional energy and vibrating only which is authentic to you. So in July, you're going to get a lot of news. News from the radio, from the TV, from your friends, from everywhere. Oh, this is what's happening. This is what you got to do. Opinions galore. All of a sudden, people have found their voice. Their voice was very big last month. They're going to find their opinions, and they're going to talk to you. They're going to tell you what they think is real and what they're doing and what's going on, and news is going to do that too. P.S. That's been happening all along, okay? But in July, you see it differently. That's why you think it's going to be too much. All of a sudden, it's just too much. But it's not. It's been doing this all along, but you're showing up differently. So you're going to experience it differently. And you're showing up authentically to you. So when you listen to your parents, your friends, advice or information or education, or you go to a class, or you do an online thing, or you're listening to me, or you listen to the news, I want you to listen to all the things and then only keep which really just motivates you, feels good for you. You're like, that. I want you to keep those things. And the rest of it, even though if you know the news source or you don't know the news source, even where it comes from, if it doesn't resonate with you, I want you to put it aside. And that's going to be very hard, because what we're saying is you have to really trust your own intuitive ability and really, really trust that you're keeping and receiving the information and the education, the learning, all the words that you need. And the rest of it, you can put it aside. And I don't want to say hard thing, but I do want to say hard thing. The challenge. The challenge is this. When you begin to do that, you're acknowledging that your intuitive self is awesome. And that and that you got it, and you're prioritizing yourself, and you're doing self first, that you're doing self-care, and you're not letting the head come in and go, oh, why didn't you listen to that? They've always given you good advice before, and you're probably not taking that because you're avoiding that, and avoidance is bad, and blah, 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 blah. You're not allowing the head to come in with the, what's it called when it's a voice that you normally don't have? What's it called?
What do you mean, like an inner knowing? Like that
No,
kind of
no,
thing?
no. The one that argues the point?
Oh.
Devil's
like
advocacy?
Yeah, like someone has a devil and an angel on their shoulders.
Yes.
That visual? Okay.
Yes. That, like, intuition is more easy, and that will reside more with the vibrational plane that you're on. So when you get an aha moment, it's easy, isn't it? You don't go, oh, it's so challenging when I get these aha moments, and I get a headache, and I fall to the ground, and it's horrible. No, you get them, and you go, oh my God, what? And it just happens so easy. You end up in the flow. You end up vibrating. Your body vibrates, your mind, your mental body, your emotional body begins to vibrate in the place where you are in your life, and everything just starts happening around you, like pop, 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 pop. Like amazing. With the other side, when you start to have the headaches and you start to, but I need to make it work. I have to recognize I can be a better person. I have to recognize that I didn't help that person and I'm a bad person. But this voice will do that to you. It'll go rah, 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 and chew you up. And then you have this worry and this angst and this anxiety. It's kind of like this, I don't know why I'm doing this, and it's just awful, and there's none of this. Woo-wee! None of that. It's all gone. So when you start to recognize your intuitive moments, it's going to be more of the aha and the ease. When you start to recognize the struggle, you're not prioritizing the information that's resonating with you. You're prioritizing the information from maybe the news sources, the friends and the family that doesn't resonate with you, but you go, but I like them, so I'm going to take that story on and I'm going to believe it right away, and I'm going to take it and I'm going to run with it, and I'm just going to believe in it wholeheartedly, and it's not going to work for you anymore, because July says you have to be authentic to yourself. And being authentic to yourself means that the next person sitting with you, they're going to have their own kind of authentic self. It might not resonate with you at all. And you might look up and say, wow, I don't really have a community. I'm just standing on my own. But even if you're standing on your own, you're not alone. When everybody becomes authentic to themselves, to their own energies, which will require the self-care, the self-priority, the self-first, which is July is saying, this is your opportunity to do that. When you do these things, you are in a community, because you're on a level that gives you complete permission and ability to love the next person for being true to themselves. Even if you don't like what they're doing. The not liking what they're doing is like, I just don't like that. But I love that they are totally in themselves, like they got it. And you won't feel like you're in a conflict with them, because you're vibrating so high with authenticity that there's no conflict. That's where you find your community. So the big challenge in July is you're still in your heart, but you're vibrating with authenticity. You're putting yourself first. You're allowing yourself to take only what vibrates with you to feed you. You're not doing the, well, if I take this, I also need to take that so I can balance myself. Well, I've said yes to all these things and it was very easy. Where's the hard work? I'm waiting for the other shoe to fall. That's not going to work in July. If you have that mindset, you're going to have double the work to do, and it's going to get really hard, and you're going to feel just swollen with energy that you don't use, that you can't use. And then you'll feel entrapped and sluggish. And then you're going to start to have like these really crazy ideas that you just need to get off the earth because you don't know what else to do. And if you're having those really intense, crazy ideas that you just need to get off the earth, then sit down and recognize, I haven't been so true to myself. So let's get really honest and let's start making those decisions where I'm prioritizing myself. And then the energy that you can't use will start to fall off of you. When we hold on to the energy that we can't use, it gets in the way of the healthy energy moving, and it makes these blocks and it stops energy flow. And when we stop our energy flow in our body, we lose communication. We lose communication with how our physical body is doing, with how our mental body is doing, and we'll start to feel crazy or like we're living in an illusion. We'll feel disassociated. We start to lose connection to how we feel, and we begin to care less in a way that's really destructive. Just leave that. Whatever. I'm not responsible for you. And you take it to an extreme where you're removing yourself from the unity that we all are. The interesting thing is you can be extremely authentic and take only what resonates with you and still be in complete unity with everybody else marching to their own drums as well. You would think that if everybody marched to their own drum that it would sound really horrible, like a very messy, no harmony whatsoever. But it's wild. It actually comes together and there's a rhythm and a beat and it works. And so July is pushing for that. It's pushing for you to live in your emotional intelligence on a higher plane, which how to get to the higher plane is take what resonates with you and not allow your head to go, well, you also have to take a little bit of that too, because there's always, a little bit of sweet and a little bit of bad that comes with everything. That's old thinking. There's not. We're coming away from the duality of the good and the bad, the right and the wrong, and we're coming into what is. It's just a being. And so we have to drop I gotta wait for the other shoe to fall because I gotta wait for the big bad thing to happen so I can have the good thing. It's not gonna be like that anymore. So the way to get up and out of it is accept what resonates with you, prioritize yourself, get up there a little bit higher so that you can see more. What else also in July is going to be needed a lot from you, each and every one of you Lumineers, is more patience. Liam talked about it for just a very little bit about if you think you're tired now, gotta dig deep. But the patience you'll recognize is you'll see it in other people really struggling. And you'll see them behaving in ways that they just haven't behaved before. Like they're having a fit, just a burst of awful or ugly. And you're just like, that's just not them. I don't understand what's happening. I know they love me. Why are they acting like that? They told me these things. They were going to follow through, and they've always followed through, but now they're not. Why is that happening? It's not you. It's not all about you. Though I want you to self-prioritize yourself, it's not all about you. But it is about them losing their patience and being frustrated with these energy increases. We're raising the heart rate. We're raising the vibration. We're bringing people up so they can settle into their emotional intelligence. And to get there, sometimes we have these bumps, where we just come unraveled. So when it's happening to you from a reliable source that you know before, I'm going to ask you, pretty please, big please, show patience. Don't react to them. Just sit back and go, whew, let them go for it. Just tear it up. Words are flying, stuff is a-going, and you're just going to sit there and listen and go, okay, is there any more? Is there more? Okay, you done? Okay, I got you. Okay. And give them patience. A listening ear, patience. Because they're going to wake up and you might expect it. They'll be embarrassed. It's like they have a hangover. They're like, oh, I'm very sorry I did that. I can't believe, I don't know where I was. I just lost myself. Yeah, that's what's happening right now. You're losing your old self and you're moving into a new one that takes some adjustment. So there's two other things Liam wants to bring up. One being time. Time is still not linear. It didn't change. Time is, no, your perception of time is catching folds where you are seeing yourself in the future living now, or where you're seeing yourself in another lifetime living now. And you're going to start identifying parallel stories. Like, I have done this before, and I am tired of this. Which June was really meant to tire you out. Like, I just give up. I just want to be me. I'm not playing a game anymore. I'm not going to play the games to, what do you call it? Law, but not law. I don't want to say it like that. Like to climb the corporate ladder. I don't want to play the games to win that person and get into that relationship and stay in that marriage. I'm done. I'm tired. That was June. July is like, we're going to give you more of that, and this time you're going to rise to the occasion and be really true to yourself. And you're going to see the great divide happening, the gap of those who are emotionally connected and those who are not. It's going to be really interesting. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just going to be real interesting. Okay, so time is going to kind of, you're going to wake up and like go, have I done this before? Have I had this conversation before? I feel like I've been here, I've said that, I have done that, but you won't be able to really tell if it's future or past. It's like your memories are coming in together of all the other lives and the work that you've done. So it's like you're opening your own Akashic library, and you're bringing in your experiences and your stories from all your other existences, and you can use that to empower yourself. Excuse me. It's like I swallowed as I was talking. We're going to do a trance channeling on the Akashic library, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so we'll talk more about that because that's coming together. And then the second thing is that with this increase of energy and awareness, and you're self-prioritizing, and you're like shutting away the energy that doesn't work for you mentally, emotionally, and physically, and you're coming more in alignment to your power. Stay grounded, stay grounded, stay grounded, which means stay awake. Stay awake and be, I want to say realistic, but that's not going to resonate with everybody. But stay awake. Be in your now. That's what it is. Grounded in the now. When you get there, you're going to have more communication, not just from time. You're experiencing time fold in on itself, how it truly is. You're going to experience other intelligent life force, multidimensional beings. Some of you call them aliens. But that knowledge is coming in and weaving into your now moment. Yeah, the now moment. Not the year is 3,000. What did they call it? The star date? The star date. 3,221 or whatever it is. It's happening now. So when you get those downloads or the informations of there's something greater or out there, take a deep breath and just know that you're in the moments of right before the gates are going to open, and we're going to experience other dimensional intelligence. It's going to be a very beautiful moment. So I want to take a moment to talk about the chakras for the month of July. One that is going to be challenged to no end, we're going back to the heart. The heart is going to be challenged. It's going to be challenged in a way of, I would say, a really good outcome, because you're really doing your best to pull forward that what you're attracted to, that what you love, that what you're passionate about, and you're going to do your best to kind of let everything else be water off your back. And when you do that, the one that's going to be strengthened is your third eye. And to help strengthen your third eye, you can do all kinds of things. You can do breath work and meditation. You can do guided meditations, are really good in helping you open your third eye. Jamie has some of them out there. You can use stones, sounds, all kinds of things. But the easiest way to open up your third eye is to understand that anything is possible. And I say that very simply, but I know that's a really big statement, and that's going to challenge every belief system that you have and every bit of information that you believe is a fact. Because anything is possible. Anything is possible. And staying calm and bringing your focus to your forehead and allowing your eyes to kind of rest here. Like if you have your eyes closed, you imagine that you're looking here. And putting energy into that, focus into it. I talked the one that's going to be challenged, the one that's going to be strengthened out, the one that's going to be needed the most, like the most for July to stay alive. I almost mean that really sincerely, but like to stay you, is going to be your red root chakra and the earth chakra. They kind of go together. The red one is going to be needed the most. Be aware that in July, when red is depleted, we tend to feel airy and disconnected and daydreamy and like careless in a bad way. Like, that's your problem, not mine. You need more red. When you get into the habit of giving yourself more red energy, please be aware not to fall into the habit of eating to pacify yourself or self-pleasure to pacify yourself, because you can get into addiction a lot when it comes to needing red energy. It's kind of like when the bell goes off, the dogs know that they can eat, and so they constantly want to hit the bell so they get a reward. And so you'll have to really balance that. Oh, I'm feeling depleted. Let's reward myself. Ding, 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 ding. And then get addicted to what that is instead of looking at the cause of why you're depleted of energy to begin with. Because in July, when we get depleted of energy, it's because you're not putting yourself first. It's because you're putting the power with others and not self. So stay grounded in the now. The challenge is self first, attracting all that love. And the one that's being strengthened is your intuitive. And this collection of these three that are working together for you in July is going to take you to that next level, which you guys often call the shift, the enlightenment, the ascension. And then it's going to land you into August. Which August is not as crazy as June and July, and I can say that with confidence. This really is the middle of the like, raw. You're in it right now. Please know that even though all of this is happening, all of life, the whole globe is changing and clicking into place, that you are not a passenger. You are not a passenger. You are in control. You can contribute to the outcome. You can make choices with what's occurring in your orbit and in your life. You are in control. So when you're feeling overwhelmed or that choices are being made for you, you have unknowingly given your perspective and given your energy to an outside source. And you have told yourself the false story of, I'm the victim, I obviously can't make a change and I can't do anything. I'm one person, or I'm small, or I'm a woman, or I'm gay, or I'm whatever, and it's just all labels and words. But when we come down to the core source of it, you are light, and you are energy, and you are emotional intelligence, and you have power, and you have choice, and you can contribute to this whole outcome. So how do you want to contribute? That will be August. Do you have any questions? Colleen is here.
I am here. No, I've just been listening so intently to everything you're saying. I say this all the time, Maitland, but I love the way you explain things.
Thank you.
Yeah, you simplify really big things and present them in such a beautiful way.
Thank you. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, thank you.
Liam said I covered everything.
I think you did as well, as far as what I knew was going to be covered. So I don't know that I have any questions.
I think that was a really good example when Jamie's body wasn't holding Liam well, to help people understand that nobody is escaping the shifts that are happening on Earth.
No, I think it was such a great example too of how when our bodies are not holding a specific vibration, it doesn't necessarily mean when we trance channel, but when we are just in our everyday existence and we feel like we can't hold those vibrations, we often go to the point of what you covered at the end of overeating or having addiction or trying to escape in some kind of way where, it made me realize if you just go inward and try to figure out where that vibration is coming from, you can deal with it a lot. I don't know, a lot better. I don't know how to say it. It was a big awareness for me when you said that.
It's interesting because it's harder work to go inside, but once you get there, it's easier to mend. Like with the false cover-up of the addictions, especially for July, because you really need to stay present. That can stick for a really long time. They could carry through August and through years. It can really change people's lives for long term in August. And I'm hoping, Lumineers, that you get addicted to staying present, like staying in the moment. Because once you figure it out, all of a sudden there's no need to worry, and there's no need to heavily pre-plan, and you have this sense of perfection and everything is supporting you. You get in your flow and you get the little sparks everywhere. That's the only one addiction I hope you get.
Well, there's a lot of talk around how that's what addiction is. Addiction is the human trying to balance the nervous system and to regulate the nervous system. And that's all that addiction is. We think it's all this other stuff. Of course, this is coming from what I read and also my opinion. But it's a nervous regulator.
It is. It's,
Yeah.
a pacifier too. And that's not to belittle how intense it is.
Oh, absolutely.
But, woof.
But it puts it on a different perspective, especially for those of us who have people in our life with addictions, to know that it's not about us and it's not about what we can do for them, and during this time that actually could get worse for them, to know that that's what's going on.
That's very true. I guess I will go. I really love this, and I hope that you are able to listen to it a few times and kind of take some notes. And again, I encourage you, take what resonates with you, because that is your most amazing path that you are on. I want to say perfect, but there's no such thing as perfect, but it is perfect for you. Bye. Thank you for joining me for July's 2020 and Liam.
Thank you, Maitland.